Before you sign any contract, take a moment to think. Are you fully aware of the terms you're agreeing to? Too often, people rush through contracts without realizing the potential risks hidden within the fine print. From undisclosed clauses to unexpected penalties, these legal pitfalls can have serious consequences, leaving you vulnerable to financial and legal trouble. In this video, we'll walk you through the most common contract mistakes people make and show you how to protect yourself. Stay tuned and learn how to navigate contracts like a pro, not fully understanding the terms. Before signing any contract, understanding each term and clause is crucial. Many individuals rush through contracts without fully comprehending the legal jargon or implications of the terms. A contract may contain complex language that seems straightforward at first glance, but hidden meanings or obligations could be lurking. Not understanding these details could lead to unintended commitments or financial consequences that are hard to undo. It's essential to take your time to read every section carefully. Break down each clause to ensure you understand what you're agreeing to. If any part of the contract is unclear, ask for clarification from the other party or a legal professional. Even minor terms, such as payment schedules or delivery dates, can have significant long-term effects on your obligations. Furthermore, don't hesitate to request that ambiguous legal language be rewritten in simpler terms. A lawyer can be invaluable here, helping you grasp the full scope of the contract and protecting you from entering into unfavorable situations. Failure to understand a contract's terms can lead to legal disputes, loss of rights, or unexpected penalties. Failure to check for hidden clauses. Contracts can sometimes include hidden or deceptive clauses that aren't immediately obvious, yet they can have a serious impact on your rights or obligations. These hidden clauses, often buried in the fine print, could impose automatic renewals, hidden fees, or restrictive conditions that only become apparent after you've signed the contract. For example, many contracts in the consumer sector may include terms such as binding arbitration clauses that force you to settle disputes through private arbitration rather than the courts, limiting your ability to seek justice through legal channels. Similarly, long-term business agreements could contain clauses that force you into a particular business direction or restrict your ability to engage in new ventures, potentially stifling your growth. It's important to scrutinize every aspect of the contract, especially the fine print, for clauses that might be hidden or disguised. Pay close attention to termination clauses, dispute resolution processes, and penalties for non-compliance. If you're unsure, consider seeking legal advice. By identifying these hidden clauses, you can prevent costly surprises and ensure the contract serves your best interests. Not considering future implications. When signing a contract, it's essential to think beyond the immediate benefits and consider how the terms will impact your future. Many people focus on the short-term gain but overlook the long-term consequences of certain clauses. For instance, in employment contracts, you may be offered a great salary and benefits package, but if the contract includes non-compete clauses or restrictive covenants, it could significantly limit your career options down the road. Similarly, in business contracts, you might agree to terms that seem beneficial now, but they could stifle your future growth or lock you into a partnership that becomes detrimental. Some contracts could limit your ability to sell your business, switch suppliers, or even pivot in your business strategy. It's also important to think about how contract terms could affect your personal life. If the contract involves investments or the sharing of intellectual property, these could have lasting consequences for your future earnings or creative rights. By anticipating future situations, you can better negotiate contract terms that will support your long-term goals, whether in business, employment, or personal matters. Not negotiating terms. One of the most common mistakes when signing a contract is failing to negotiate the terms. Many individuals assume that the terms of the contract are fixed or that it would be inappropriate to ask for adjustments. However, most contracts are negotiable, and it's in your best interest to ensure that the agreement is as favorable to you as possible. This is particularly true for business contracts, where terms like pricing, deadlines, and payment structures can often be adjusted to better suit your needs. For example, if the payment schedule is too tight or the penalties for non-compliance are severe, you may be able to negotiate better terms. Similarly, in employment contracts, if you feel the salary or benefits are below your expectations, it's perfectly reasonable to ask for adjustments. Effective negotiation can help you secure a contract that not only meets your immediate needs, but also offers better protection for your future. Negotiating gives you a chance to address any clauses that seem unfair or overly restrictive. A contract is a mutual agreement between parties, and both sides should have the opportunity to negotiate terms that they find reasonable and beneficial. Ignoring legal risks and liabilities. Ignoring the risks and liabilities that come with a contract can have severe consequences. Contracts often include clauses that specify what happens if the agreement is breached, and these clauses can determine who is financially liable in the event of disputes. Many individuals overlook these terms, assuming that they won't need them or that things will go as planned. However, life is unpredictable, and situations can arise that may force you to breach the contract or face legal action from the other party. For example, business contracts may contain liability clauses that state that the party in breach will be responsible for paying damages or covering the costs of any legal fees incurred. Similarly, personal contracts like rental agreements or loan contracts may expose you to risks if you default on payments or breach the agreement in any way. To avoid these risks, it's important to carefully examine the contract for any clauses that could assign liability to you under certain circumstances. If you don't understand a particular liability provision, seek advice from a legal expert. A solid understanding of these clauses will help you navigate the contract safely and avoid unnecessary legal or financial consequences down the line. Lack of proper documentation. Proper documentation is critical to ensuring that all aspects of an agreement are clearly defined and legally enforceable. A lack of documentation can result in ambiguity, making it difficult to hold parties accountable in the future. It's important that every promise, agreement, or modification made before and after signing the contract is documented in writing. For example, if the other party promises additional services or changes the terms after the initial signing, those changes should be formally recorded in an addendum to the original contract. Verbal agreements or informal understandings can be difficult to enforce, as they are not legally binding without proper documentation. Without a clear paper trail, misunderstandings or disputes may arise, and the absence of written evidence could lead to a loss of your legal rights. Additionally, when you sign a contract, ensure that all documentation is organized and securely stored for easy access should any legal issues arise later. This includes any emails, letters, or other communications that support the terms of the contract. Keeping thorough and accurate records will protect your rights and provide evidence if you need to prove your case in the future. Failing to include exit clauses. Exit clauses are often overlooked when signing contracts, yet they are essential to protecting your interests in the event that you need to terminate the agreement early. These clauses specify the conditions under which you or the other party can terminate the contract without facing heavy penalties or legal consequences. Without these clauses, you may find yourself trapped in a contract that no longer suits your needs, leading to significant financial or legal risks. For example, in business contracts, an exit clause may allow you to back out if certain performance metrics are not met or if there is a breach of contract by the other party. Similarly, in employment agreements, exit clauses may outline the terms under which you can leave the company or the employer can terminate your employment. Having these provisions clearly laid out in the contract helps ensure that you are not left exposed to unnecessary liabilities or penalties. When reviewing a contract, always check for these clauses and make sure they provide a fair and reasonable exit strategy that aligns with your interests. If none are present, you can negotiate for one before signing the agreement. That's it for today. Now that you know the common contract mistakes to avoid, you're better equipped to sign agreements with confidence. Remember, always read the fine print, ask questions, and seek professional advice when necessary. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more valuable tips. Also, feel free to comment below with any contract experiences or questions you have. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe and informed.